Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home. A long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home. A long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home. A long way.
Okay.
So if you want to say a little bit about what happened as we're waiting.
Yeah. It was really interesting. So there is two different groups. The group of men that came were more of his local group that have been meeting for about 7 or 8 years. There is another larger group that he brought this idea to yesterday that has been around for 30 years. It's called the Redwood Men's Center, and they probably have hundreds of men over the last 30 years on their mailing lists. But so it was interesting. There was resistance for sure, but we were with a group of conscious men, and they were. I mean, by the end of it, I'm gonna say if there were 7 men present and 7 women. 5 of the men were teared up and were really moved. But it was a little challenging getting to that point because they didn't really see why they have to be concerned or they felt like we were asking them to give up their lives, for this issue. And I really broke it down for them, like this could be as simple as, if you're a football coach and you hear jokes in a locker room, stopping them, or, just being in your own household with your children or grandchildren or whatever, calling things out and modeling good behavior. So I think, it felt like it made a crack. There was a crack of light that in the that guarded veneer that happened for sure. And we are actually planning an online conversation. So we're gathering people for that. And we don't have a date for that yet. It's going to depend on the people and involved and what their availability is. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, and this is part of the thing that a lot of times men do feel like the way women are treated or the problems that we've had with the patriarchy is a woman's problem and not
Mhm.
recognizing that it's the men who are behaving in such a way that's causing women problems. So it's really a man's problem.
Mhm.
Until the men own it and call it out and say, no, we're not doing this. And no, I mean, this is when we have a president who's emboldened, to speak in such atrocious ways, not only about women, but like mocking a disabled reporter, things like that. That just emboldens people to think like, oh, okay, it's nobody's going to do anything if I do that.
Mhm.
Now, with all the treatment of immigrants and horrific,
Right.
it's
Mm.
But it's not just the men. I mean, it is. it is these women that are, there's this picture of real sexy women who are just this Boo Boo Bondi and gnome people. These women, they're just like, holy moly. So it's not restricted to men. They become
Nobody's
sort of
saying that.
man-like. Okay, okay.
Nobody's saying that.
It's the patriarchy. It's the
Yeah,
structure.
it's the
And there's
mental.
patriarchal women for
Yeah,
sure.
that's the problem. Playing the game that it just isn't sustainable and it's ruining everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as Diana and Jan and Ilona, we've all been in the conversation about what is mine to do.
Mhm.
What can I do? How do I bring my talents, my love, my energy to make a difference? And you know, I have watched Dr. Marty, who we have joining us, who has made a difference. She was voted the #1 influencing woman. What's the title in St. Louis? You're the
No, that actually would be my daughter. That's not me.
oh, is that you? I thought that was you that was voted.
No, that's not my no, my daughter is the #1 influencer in the state of Missouri.
But I wonder
Um,
who influenced your daughter.
well, I think I can take a little credit for that.
It's your
Yeah,
lineage.
yes.
And then Jan, of course, has been taking her little caravan out across America and circling up with women to have the deeper conversation about helping women to find their voice.
Mm.
Having grown up in a family where I was the youngest girl of all males, with 3 older brothers, it was like very difficult for me to have a voice, to stand up to my brothers, to
Mhm.
speak out, and to be empowered and then have the bully mentality where I was bullied or treated poorly was made it incredibly difficult to stand out. So it's been a thing that's been near and dear to my heart too.
Mhm.
And I've always been very involved in social justice and now I have 4 grandchildren. And I'm watching their world and getting to know their world more intimately. And I'm going, oh my God, I have to do something. So I'm going to launch into, I want to just share with you a little overview very quickly. And then I'm going to ask Jan to present some ideas for us. And then Dr. Marty will to hopefully spark a deeper conversation amongst all of us. So thank you all for joining us. And so let's see here. I got to share screen.
Just while you're doing that, Jan, that was ingenious, that idea of putting yourself on the cover of Time magazine. It is time now. That was amazing.
It, AI is my slave. It serves the divine feminine. Or some days I say, "Fuck you! I'm in charge of you, you little." Sorry, but it is our artistic slave. Thank you.
So, of course, I had this all set up, right? And now that Jan and I even tested this, right, Jan?
That's right.
And I don't know what happened, but it disappeared. So, I took a workshop with Barbara Marx Hubbard, and she, has been always about enlightened partnerships and about in evolution of into our culture to make our culture more enlightened. And so at the end of the workshop, I said to her, I said, Barbara, how are we going to get more conscious, enlightened partnerships? And she said, well, I'm working on it myself and I'm having a hard time with it. It's not that easy. She said, but what I think we have to do is we have to gather the people, the couples who are actually taking it on and who are seriously embracing the edge of consciousness in their relationship and making their partnerships more enlightened and find out from them, how's it going? What are you doing? What's working? And I thought to myself, well, I can do that. So for the last 15 years, I have brought together on the partnership day, which is February 22nd, 222, to be able to have the conversation with couples about what are you doing and how is it going. And I'll put the link to the highlight of some of the best talks that were given over the years. But this year, when it came up, because I have 4 grandchildren, 3 of which are under the age of 6, I thought, I think we need to talk about how to prepare for our children. And I've been becoming more and more concerned about bringing in and establishing the Grandmother's Council, because we're in a constitutional crisis. I was doing some research, because Benjamin Franklin, when they were writing the Constitution, he actually had been in conversation with the Iroquois Nation, because he found that they had a very powerful, effective way of addressing the way. In fact, they had no prisons in their culture, because they were able to debate and bring people into a higher alignment through the debating of ideas and forming a unified space. So, but the one thing that the Iroquois Nation had that we don't have, that Benjamin Franklin didn't even realize was important, was the Grandmother's Council. And the Grandmother's Council had a powerful role in determining the success of the men who were in leadership, and whether they were allowed to be in leadership was from the voice of the grandmothers. And so we have a rise now of Indigenous women are coming up, but that's why I asked Jan and Dr. Marty to come and speak and share with us. And I also wanted to talk to you about what my solution was. I put together a children's book series, which I call the Color the Truth, the children's book series. And basically what I'm trying to do is to bring, when I listen to my little 3-year-old say, I want to be a princess, I want to be a princess. It's that whole mindset of that she's got to find her prince, and in order to get true love, she has to go find her prince. And I was like, no, honey, the true love is in you. So, and we were sitting there coloring. They color every day. They love to color. And as they're coloring, I'm realizing I should have my coloring book open for them. And as they're coloring, and my 3-year-old loves to sit in my lap and color with me. So I got my arms wrapped around her. She's cuddling with her grandma, and we're coloring in the coloring book. And I said, we could be talking about what is the difference, the cultural differences and everything. So you can go to my website at the gospelofmarymagdalene.info and learn, and then sign up to receive more information about this new fairy tale that I'm writing and the coloring book that goes with it, which is a storybook of awakening from fairy tale to Sophianic wisdom. And it's telling our children the truth about really where true love comes. But more than that, it's like exposing them to multicultural. So here's the Princess Diana, the Sophia, who she is the priestess Diana, who is living in the temple, versus the Princess Sophia that lives in the castle. And the difference between the castles, where walls are built up to keep people out and to barricade people, and there's all that, and then there's the temple where it's open and the community is welcome and you come in. I don't know if you know this picture of the woman talking to the man. That's the priestess Diotima, who debated Socrates. It's a very famous painting that she would, and why she was able to debate Socrates was because Socrates' mother was a priestess, and she was a midwife and an obstetrician, and she was very loved and respected. And so he had that honoring of the divine feminine that allowed him to debate what is true love with the Princess Diotima. So, when you bring the contrast of the castle, princess castle, and the priestess temple, what you're showing is different lifestyles. And then there's the idea that you can have these differences, but you can love each other anyway. So there's this coming together to understand and appreciate the gifts that the different cultures have. And then there's the suppressed stories, like the story of the Holy Sophia, which is actually on the front of some of the Gothic cathedrals in Europe, is her story about how she brought the divine spark within us. But we don't learn this as children, that it was this emanation of the divine feminine, the Sophia, the Holy Sophia, that ignited the spark within us. And then this is the other thing about, of course, where we're learning where true love is, which is why we have Princess Sophia learns that the true love is actually in her heart. So anyway, I feel like I'm making a difference in their lives to open their world to inclusion and rewrite the fairy tale. Like we're putting the spirit of Ubuntu in the fairy tale story. So they learn about, what it is to be a part of community. And we're integrating the castle. So, it's like the women from the young girls from the lower area can come and join with the young girls from the upper area. And there's skills that are taught. And anyway, it's just it's and when I took it over to have my grandchildren, I read them the story in the book, and then at the end, after reading the whole story to them, I asked my little 3-year-old, which page would you like to color first? And she goes, true love page, Grandma. And she, being 3, it's very hard for her coloring. She so carefully and so deliberately colored that little red heart that was in her. And she's got the image of the divine feminine with the heart in her, and her grandma's arms wrapped around her, so that I'm anchoring a whole brain learning experience that true love comes inside of you. It's not find some man out there and you get a prince. Yes, you will find you'll find it first in you, and then you share it as equals. And so it's like changing the narrative. We need to change the narrative. So anyway, thank you guys for letting me talk. So as a part of this Enlightened Partnership Day on 222, the portal, thank you. I've asked my beloved friend Jan, who's always knocks it out of the park, to lead us off with sparks of ideas from her indwelling Holy Sophia, to share with us what she would like to share, the wisdom of her heart. So, Jan, I'm going to let you.
Thank you, Christy. We've been doing this a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, this 16th year.
And so let's start out by being the priestesses that we are. And I love how you named that priestess Diana, because I know that's after our beloved Diana, right? All right. So I love that laugh. All right, let's drop in. Let's take a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth, and honor this sacred gathering of our voices, of our experiences. And as Dr. Marty said, it's not our age, it's what we've been through. And we have been through a lot. So if you're a grandmother, raise your hand. If you're a divine feminine leader and accept that as your role, raise your hand. And you're probably an artist too, a social artist, raise another hand. We're going to have to do feet in the middle. If you're a change agent now, put them all up. Yes. So I made a PowerPoint because this is such a such a triggering topic for me, and I used to be anxious to speak, and now you can't stop me. So I just set the alarm for 25 minutes, and I made a kind of an alley of 3 different things we're going to talk about. The state of things. And even though we think there's backpedaling and that women are getting contained, this is just a blip in the bigger plan. And so, number 2, I'll be talking about the bigger divine plan, of which the divine feminine will lead. And then, on a practical sense of what to do now. And then, when the alarm goes off, we'll do a meditation. So I know that pictures are worth a million words, and right now, all you have to do is go on social media to see what the heck is happening. All right, I have to go back to the very first one. All right, let's take a breath together. Blessings on this gathering for the people that are here today and that will see it in the future. I personally promise to be sure that 1,000 women in other countries can hear our voices today. I make that promise. We're calling all grandmothers and awakening divine feminine sisters. This is ageless. It is our time to step forward without fear, to collaborate, and to co-create and design something new that people can hang their hat on, because they are not hanging their hat on our present leaders. We've lost the trust. So for 20 years, I've been working with the most fabulous women in the divine feminine community, and this tells the story of the energy growing.
Way back when, in the beginning of time, man made the fire, then the sea went from a horse to an automobile. He said the world in mind. He took the oceans and the sky. He set the borders, built the wall. It won't stop till it owns it all. And here we are, standing on the brink of disaster. Enough is enough, is enough, is enough. I know the answer. Put a woman in charge. Put the woman in charge. Put a woman in charge. Put the woman in charge. The time has come. We've got to turn this world.
He's feeling safe,
Yes.
respected,
Yes.
safe to speak out and
Oh, definitely. All of that. Self-expression.
Claire, this is Michelle Schumann. She's here at the fair. Watch for, okay? Hello there. I'm at the Think Festival and this Divine Being. Would you like to introduce yourself? Now you're officially on the Queen's Caravan, but we aren't knowing this is actually a video. we're sitting here today and we're looking at things that are scaring us, and it does feel like we're backtracking, and the authorities are taking us into autocracies, authoritarianism. Can't even say that word, it makes me nauseated. But there's a reason why both liberty and justice are always portrayed as grown, strong women, even by men. The bigger problem is, and we are very aware of it in our community, the imbalance of partnership on earth because of the suppression of the feminine. And that's why we are coming together and congealing this new energy that is rising and will. I was talking to Dr. Marty earlier. I said, well, we're going to be handed the baton of power. Well, maybe we're taking it. We're actually, we're putting it in our voice and our hearts. This masculine false power must be met with the pure feminine power, fear-free, and I'm going to get to that fear-free part. But the feminine must take the steps to empower herself, because the patriarchy, the husbands, the priests are not going to say, honey, why don't you take over? No. So, this is going to be a surprise. Oh, no, that's not supposed to be there. Okay. There we go. So everywhere on social media,
the governments, the corporations, and the unelected power structures is straight out of the clinical handbook of psychological manipulation. This is not just an abusive relationship. This is narcissistic abuse on a civilizational scale.
on a global scale. So the patriarchy and how women have bought into it for thousands of years here is the problem, particularly in societies with large gender inequalities. So what is in the micro? Women are waking up and they're saying, oh my God, I'm in a narcissistic relationship. The world is now moving into, and it's been in and out, but now the narcissistic masculine leadership, we must leave. This is really cute, this little image here. So the Epstein files, the victims, the books coming out, the Me Too movement, the recognition that there is a billionaires male club. I've had friends in the Bohemian Globe Club, and that is where they decide what the little guys are going to do and stay in fear for control. So this movement towards recently of the demonization of the feminine is because they are feeling how powerful we are. And when you look at countries like Iceland, European countries where there's women in charge, there's higher rates of citizen well-being, satisfaction, and better health care. And those are facts. And facts matter. So patriarchy has trained too many people to mistake dominance for competence. History proves the building, creating, and thriving do not require male entitlement. I'm speaking to the choir here, so some of it I'm just going to let you read yourself, because men have rewritten history to favor their control, all the way to, was it Constantinople, the emperor who decided that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, or, oh no, that was one of the popes. Yeah, all the men writing the story. So right now, people are waking up, and naming things is important. And the United Nations saying this isn't a trafficking ring. This is a global criminal enterprise, crimes against humanity. They are saying these crimes, the people have looked the other way. It's too dark. We really can't imagine it's true. Who would have thought we'd be wearing T-shirts that say men who respect women don't vote for rapists? I mean, things are really getting in the open now on social media. So Karen Ray Wilson, a very powerful divine feminine woman, she posted this. Name 10 countries where women are still being forced into arranged marriages, especially underage. Look, that's a trick question. There's a lot more than 10. Girls The feminine are the vulnerable ones. And when you look at the horrific Epstein crimes of buying and selling as if they had, we have to acknowledge it. And now workers also being underneath this false control grid, guess what? They're starting to stand up. And we know what happens then, right? So look at this is true. I did a fact check. Tennessee Republicans have introduced a bill to execute women who get abortions.
Mm.
Now, are they pro-life or are they anti-women's choice? They say life should be protected from fertilization to natural death. Well, obviously that the pregnant woman should be protected. This man was chosen at age 6 to go into the brotherhood, and he is well aware of the mind control and the keeping the masses in fear, in the beta wave, flight or fight, money systems, mortgages, pricing, scarcity mentality. If you can keep fear the dominant frequency, these other fellows can focus and grow rich on us. He was in the brotherhood and trained and learned all this at age 6. So why don't women speak out? The price
for women of speaking out is huge. The incentives that are offered to women for not speaking are enormous. If you don't say what you really feel and think, if you don't say what you know firsthand on the basis of experience, but you learn what other people want you to say, want you to feel, want you to know, then you will be loved, you will be promoted, because patriarchy is unnatural. We know this now. As human price.
And you could be Pam Bondi. Okay. So our job is to accept and see these truths and then to separate ourselves emotionally and stay calm. The control has been successful. We're on the last breath of patriarchal control. They've used even vibrational mechanisms, but we're waking up. We don't even know what normal is anymore. The media, frequency manipulation through the airwaves, through images, through towers, whatever. It's been a system of coercive agreements. But ISIS, who oversees Earth, the lands, the 4 direction, is saying, okay, priestesses, see it for what it is. What is accepted in this moment, and change it from that moment rather than living in some future. Begin here today. And we begin by recognizing the wisdom of the feminine elders. We are standing on their shoulders for all the work, the voting rights, everything. And again, even though it seems like we're slipping back, those have created the momentum that we can continue. The indigenous wisdom, a place at the table for all beings, storytelling, circles of respect and care. The grandmothers held it together. Now think about it. Mothers, unpaid labor, 24/7. Look at this. She's even gathered food and cooking out in the middle of, practically, this is what women do. I took a class with Rianne Eisler, she's a social scientist, showed us the severe marginalization of the feminine to have no economic or leadership power, and marriage has been one of the perpetrators of that de-escalation of women's potential power. So when I look at my lineage, I look and say, oh my God, my grandmother on the far right, her husband died, and she was lucky enough to marry this much older fellow to take care of her, okay? So our lineage has these women who didn't have a lot of free choice. They had courage. There's my mother, that's me, my mom, my grandmother, and my daughter. My daughter is a kick-ass feminist artist who lives in Chinatown, Manhattan, and she's just way out there. And my mom was a writer at Stanford Graduate School, but she was a doormat for my father who had narcissistic qualities. So I got to see firsthand how women ended up having 8 children with the Catholic Church not letting them use birth control, my mom being so exhausted. All right. So really, when I get on this topic, our feminine lineages are important, and honor your mom for what she did to get you here. Really, there was a lot of courage and sacrifice. So what we're going through now is a very interesting historical time marker, because 2,000 years ago, there was a woman who was equal to the Christ, the being that all these humans revere. And the fact is, she had equal vibrational Christed consciousness, and he could not have gone into her light body unless she, as a priestess, did the priestess processes with him. So that says a lot about partnership and where we are moving as a species, and that's why I have hope. So for us women, it's to remember. Christy, remember we had a big group go to the San Francisco Opera, and the theme was, tell them to remember your divinity, your natural power, healing in the feminine circles of caring. And over here we have Sue Ellen Parkinson's beautiful artwork, and she's in Northern California, and I actually have that. I have that piece, which I love. So right now we don't need to be ladies. We are in a collective awakening, and this is a little movie I'm going to show you that I made years ago, and we're in it. I invite you to the greatest show on earth. This projectionist is within your heart. Your movie creates and moves and designs your reality on every stage. Every being, every breath, even the sun coming up, you orchestrate from the goddess of your being. Every day that you put your feet on the floor, rising from sleep, from restorative sleep, you have a new chance to flow creation that was always yours. Man has been separated from his divinity, and that now is ending. You are taking back. You are remembering. You are singing. You are singing your true vibration, and you are resonating with your family here on earth, opening our hearts, a cataclysm of love. So women are changing, and they're saying enough, no bullies. And women are done mothering their toxic partners. Women aren't getting married anymore. 40% won't even get married and have children. We're setting boundaries. We're saying no to bullies. And I'm going to be moving a little bit quicker now to not go over. So go ahead and do a screenshot on some of these more wordy ones. The consequences of staying silent now outweigh our discomfort in speaking up. This is the state of things. But there is a bigger picture with help from the heavens. You are part of it. The dark once seen, we are seeing it can be dealt with, and there is light around the corner. For 20 years, I've been studying and working with the divine plan. And your speaking the truth is pushing it. It is a frequency refabrication of the reality of Earth. The Dark Ones created a false grid 200,000 years ago, the Luciferian galactic whatever. And these are the grids that go all around the Earth. And we are shifting it by taking in light through our own bodies and going to higher vibrational states. As we go into these states, all darkness is exposed. Everything illusionary through the divine plan that is not built on divine principles will dissolve. That is the promise. So people say, well, Jan, what's the truth? You say, I saw this fellow the other day and he looked at all the ancient religions, sigils, writings, and there is a universal truth. And you know what it is? Love. And the false grid is fear. So if we pull away our fears, access our core powers, we are a force of nature. And we radiate out this high frequency of truth, beauty, love, and goodness. And your unique frequency, it's like it entrains others. They feel it. We were saying earlier about Dr. Marty's voice is just like a big mom's hug. Each of us has a part to play, and we are leaders simply by being who we are and remembering our divinity, our innate power, and no one can ever take that away once we know it and own it. So we're learning new languages. We're learning to say no in all these wonderful ways. We're coming into coherent brainwave patterns, free of fear. That is us, the role of the divine feminine, supporting each other, electing. Look at this. These two indigenous Native American women elect more feminine energy. Teach our children the truth, the lineage. Sorry, Christy, that was your book there. The contribution to science and art, inclusivity and tolerance training, about the matriarchal societies, the roles of women in history. Guess what? It's coming back because it has been buried. So we're honoring and healing the feminine lineage in new ways because we're saying no to suppression. And you know, I always knew this. Our grandmothers were the powerful ones in the family, but they pretended that it was grandpa. I know some of you are going to chuckle at that. So we used to attract partners based on our missing notes. This is my part in the voice of the divine feminine being extremely powerful and in her own power. Well, we were exhausted, so we would attract in codependent partners. No, we're changing our voice. The awakened women carry a new empowered frequency. Her desire for change has now overridden her fear of being hurt for speaking up. You can't live with the way things are, so you speak up. And that new signal is out and strong. This is my image of the divine feminine like a radio station. Everyone will be enveloped in this new signal. And you know what did it? Epstein files. Women are saying, no hurting children or the vulnerable on my shift. In this way, we value ourselves enough to speak up. So the science is what I folded into the voice release program that I do. That's my part. Create new ways like voice release to liberate the voice of the divine feminine. And I'll put that in the chat if you want to take a look at it. They cannot control you if you are regulated and you have no fear. Bullies lose interest. It's like you're in the Wizard of Oz, the end of the movie, and you pull back that curtain, you go, what the hell? I'm much braver and I'm much smarter than this loser. That's us. That's us just laughing right into leadership. So we're building on the good relationships. In the old days, women chose their partners because they needed them. We graduated from that. So what's a new partnership? You're going to love this, Chrissy. Resonance. Vibrational attraction, not through codependence. Wholeness attracts whole. Teamwork. Not so much personal healing anymore. We're building new communities, and AI, my slave, I asked it to make a picture of, that's my picture of new community living. So the arts, women are emerging through the arts. We are learning to meditate, connect to source and the grid, and spread that energy out, create miracles. There's a lot of miracle women on this call, I know. Raising your vibration releases fear. So women are helping humans through raising their vibration. Now, these are the things you can do. Join the councils. Attend the summits. There's Anna Shuya. Boy, is she a voice for change. Interviews, podcasts. Showing up in solidarity. Look at these grandmothers and moms were carried out in Tennessee. Join the movement. Invite your friends. Be in the wave. I see it's a tsunami of brilliant, bright energy. Groups and circles. These are things you can do yourself. And again, take a screenshot because I'm going to be moving fairly quickly here. Music, nature, promote neuroplasticity, be open to change because things are changing. I'm really feeling we need to forgive the men. Why? Because they were raised in a field of fear. We have to help them understand the role of their mother was a fabrication as part of a whole control false grid. So women can be role models to men in whatever area they choose. The new mother, the new romantic partner, the new boss. I showed this to Christy the other day. It's a little mean, but we encourage men to grow up with equal pay, shared work at home, and the usual. Heal their mother wounds. That's a big one. The artist, now this is James Jerub, created this. And actually, the painting told a woman that it was to come to me, and her fear is burned off in her throat. And they say when the grandmothers release the fear of speaking up, that little black lacy light grid, Earth will align with her divine alignment once again. Raising our voices, a friend and I are creating songs for marching so our voices can be in unison. There's writing and posting. I love all these wonderful posts by strong women. And when you speak up, it lowers the perceived risk of those who are still silent to speak up. Your courage matters. Be visible. I'm speaking to the choir again. You know this. So I go out in this little red caravan with my friends from high school in Durango, Colorado, and really they're taking care of business. All these women are getting it, and this is how we're doing it: arranging in these circles and visiting each other in geographical areas. We are potentizing our own communities. And we are regulating our nervous systems. Beautiful. So this is my dream. I'm building a healing garden. I planted about 4 roses today. People come and heal their hearts here in Chimacum. Don't forget the rituals. Stay grounded. Use card decks, altars, singing mantras. Make your home a sacred respite place. And choose yourself. Share your message, just Lady Gaga. She's great. And look at this. Mackenzie Scott gave more than all the male billionaires. Think about that. Protest. It only takes 3% of a population to overcome. So Magdalene says, think and it shall be. Use your feminine, creative imagination. And of course, vote. Call your representatives. Be in your joy, your passion. That's my grandson. He's joyful. And this is, we opened up a women's university in Puerto Rico. And we were very joyful. So we're going to do a quick meditation now, and it's important because we are at Neptune, which is dreamy, and Saturn, which is activating the masculine. At Aries, it's a new beginning. We are at a 0 point for coherency and alignment. Our consciousness is moving forward, meaning changes for other humans through us. And we, Divine Feminine, we are merging with the energy of the backbone of the masculine, our own masculine, as never before, in a unified way. So this is our time. We are changing directions. The truth is visible. All is transparent. People, they can't lie to us anymore. It's kind of cute. Okay, I'm going to stop the share. And we're going to drop into a meditation. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. This will just take just a few minutes. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Blessed be. We know in our bones, we know in our cellular matrix, this new congealing of excitement, of movement forward. It is not just us. Each of us is a ripple in the tsunami of divine feminine love that is lighting up and moving the game board, the chess game, the queen and her court, and all these women in circles in every single community. Hearts are lighting up, and the males are looking at us, and they're dropping their weapons. And they're realizing the fruitlessness of hurting, negating, and marginalizing, and pretending that women aren't strong. And we women are going to love the men and give everyone a role suited to their authentic gifts and beingness. We imagine all humans in a big circle. We ask and intend to set a sacred space. We put every human on this planet, every heart that is chosen to be in the tsunami of love, we welcome you in. We forgive everyone. We let the vibration of love and compassion and readiness alchemize into a new reality. We see it, we feel it, and let's move 5 years forward. And let's see the forward movement, the light. We see the last vestiges, the composting of the old ways. So we ask that our hearts hold patience and warmth and appreciation that we could show up this time. We could show up and we could speak up and we could be this divine feminine vibrational change that we were meant to be by coming together and collaborating and checking our notes and supporting and loving each other and moving out and letting this energy go into the grid and hug and love everyone back into a divine, aligned, benevolent earth once again. So let's come back and go ahead and shake your hands, shake your head. This is a good time to dance, actually, because this is what we're doing. This is truly what we're doing. All right. So I hand it back over, and I hope I didn't go over too much. I try to be careful.
Thank you so much, Jan. I appreciate your conversation. You know, it's done in the spirit of the divine feminine, with the art and the music and the creativity and everything, to just stir the pot. So hopefully the pot got stirred for people, and they have sparked with different ideas and whatnot. It's something that I know I'm going to have to go back and watch it over again and pull some of those nuggets that you placed out there. Um, no, and that picture of you with your grandmother and your mother and your daughter, the four generations, is so touching because that's what's been happening, the generation after generation trying to move us forward. So it makes it perfect segue for me to bring up Dr. Marty. You know, I asked her because when to join us because some of the ideas that you're talking about, what one person can do at the level of community, Marty is the living demonstration of that. She has been boots on the ground in St. Louis, whatever is wanted and needed. She's out there doing it. She doesn't let anything stop her. I mean, when we had the election, she says, it doesn't matter which way it goes, I'm still doing the work. I'm still showing up for my community. I'm still helping others. I'm still moving forward. But now I think the call is getting even more significant. So thank you, Jan. So Dr. Marty's going to talk for a little bit now and share some of the ideas that she's been caring about also having an African American grandson and what it's been like trying to keep him safe, work with her community that has been traumatized by the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson, and also being a part of the Evolutionary Women's Council, which is an international group that is really trying to bring forth the evolution. So I will, and she of course is an author like like Jan is and whatnot. So Marty, I'm gonna turn it over to you to fire away and tell your truth like the mama bear that you are.
Well, thank you. First of all, I want to say, Jan, what an amazing presentation you just had. I'm like Christy, I think I need to go back and watch it two or three times because you really unpacked a lot. That is so awesome. I mean, I feel like you have a series in what you just shared with us. And there's so many great nuggets. And so I want to just thank you for that. I would love to offline have some personal time to talk with you because I do feel like we definitely have some overlapping in this work that we do. So thank you again. And thank you, Christy, for having me. You are more than just a connector and more than just a feminine leader. You truly are called to do this work. This is purpose work. And I am so delighted and honored to call you my friend. We have gotten to know each other through, Zoom, but that just goes to show you that when the connection, right? When the connection is a spiritual connection, that it reaches beyond the computer, it reaches beyond the screens, and so AI cannot touch what a heart-centered a connection really is. And so I want to thank you, Christy, for demonstrating that for so many years and trusting my experiences and my voice to come into this space that says so much to me. I'm always honored to be here with you. So if you don't mind, I would like to be more on sharing the screen with everyone because I want to do an interactive talk more so than just feeling
Want
like
to be
it's
on
just me.
gallery? Is that what you're
Yeah, I
saying?
would like to be on gallery if you don't mind. And I want to speak to what Christy has. I want to see everybody. There we go. There we go. There we go. For those who may not be on the screen, that's okay. That's okay. So here we go. I'm going to honor what Christy asked me to speak to. So I'm going to touch a little bit on my personal story with my grandson, but I want to open this up a little bit different because I want to get us all collectively in this same space, if you don't mind. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Sing it in your head. No woman, no cry. I'm going to sing it one more time. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. When we hear that, and I wanted to just sing the the chorus, if you will, of that. No woman, no cry. Sometimes we just get caught up in the words, and what we hear is no woman. So without woman, would we really have the emotional side of beings? That's what we really hear if we just pay attention to those words. But that's not what that song means. See, when the author, and that's what I love about art, is that it's many different perspectives. And it's so important for us to trust the process and trust the artistry and really historically connect to the artist. If you really know that artist, you would know that what he really was saying in his Jamaican dialect was, no woman, don't cry. Don't cry. No woman, don't cry. But his artistry made him write it differently. But that's really what the artist was saying. Like, no woman, don't cry. Why would this man be singing such a strong, powerful song of no woman, please don't cry? Because he, as a man, knows that he was letting woman down. There was a lot of disappointment in what that woman was seeing as this woman was birthing and bringing human life into the world. Bringing this, see, the song, if you go back and you read the lyrics, the song reflects the hard times of the community. And it reflects the poverty and the struggle. And it also is a shared resilience amongst all. And remembering the strength of togetherness. That's community. We can build the strength of togetherness. That's what that song is about. So now I want you to hear the song and I want you to think about those four things again. Hard times in community. Who would be crying harder in community for hard times? The woman who's birthing and bringing humanity into situations that man continues to be the cause of. That's why it's important for women to be able to make choices over her own body, because as we continue to have a revolution and we see how things are moving, is this even the right time to bring a child into the world under these circumstances of war and racism and division? No woman, no cry. Hard times in community. No woman, no cry. Poverty and struggle. No woman, no cry. Shared resilience. No woman, no cry. Remembering the strength and togetherness. No woman, no cry. It's time to build community. No woman, no cry. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. No woman, no cry. Who cares how much money you have? No woman, no cry. We are one humanity. No woman, no cry. How can I change the world? No woman, no cry. It's gotta start with you and me. No woman, no cry. Mm. No woman, no life. That's where we are right now. We are in a space, in a place where we get to make the decision on if this world continues or it ends. Women, we are the most powerful human beings in this world. This is our time. Don't cry. Work. Work. Don't cry. Build. Build. Don't cry. Create. Create. Don't cry. Unapologetically show up and be who you were called to be. There's no time for tears. Dry them up. Let's work. We all have experienced some sort of trauma in our lives. And I was sharing with Jan and Christy earlier. I'm an artist and I do this trauma work, and I didn't ask to do this trauma work. I was kind of born into this thing. And God gave me some inner gifts, right, of artistry. And I've tried to figure out how to combine the two. And when I look at the word trauma, Trauma, the first three letters of trauma is art. So what happens when we are experiencing trauma? Our art, our medicine inside of us is backwards. You got to learn to flip it to survive. Whatever your experience is, whatever, see, because trauma has no race, space, or place. So throw that out, right? Like, this is one thing you can't control. No amount of money, no privilege, no prestige, no age, nothing can stop trauma. But what you can do is be prepared for it. So when it hits, you can survive it. So I want to just kind of share a few things here today to help you do that. And these same things is what I teach my grandson, both of my grandsons. And I'm very intentional about it because my grandsons are Black. Little Black boys growing up in this world. So unfortunately, there are some accessories that are not included in their package. So I have to make sure they have what they need to survive. One of the things is I want us to learn how to change our mindset and explore a new perspective. This is the art of healing as to what I'm teaching today. You want to write that down. This is the ungun, the art of healing. I want you to honor your lived experiences. Ooh, that's big. Honor your lived experiences. All the shit, all of it. Yep, everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Honor it. Be grateful and thankful for it. Right now in your mind, I want you to think about something that you've been complaining about your entire life, right? Okay, maybe she or he didn't tell you that they loved you growing up. Okay, maybe this happened. But whatever it is right now, for the first time in your life, I want you to honor it. I want you to say thank you. I'm so happy I survived it. That's how you show honor. My father was an alcoholic who was very abusive to my mother in front of my brother and I. And it was a lived experience that was very traumatic every time we witnessed it. But I honor it today because today I choose not to ever drink. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. It's helped to shape who I am. I'm a trusted individual in spaces because I am always in my right mind. I honor it. What do you need to honor today? I want to give someone space to actually hear their voice say it. I want you to come off of mute and share what you want to honor that you've never honored before. Anyone? Is there anyone? Trauma is transferable and so is healing. We can choose to talk about trauma and this be a traumatic experience, or we can get to healing. Who would
All I want to, I just want to thank you because I'm a therapist. You're doing right now is you're making it public what I do privately.
Wow,
A lot
thank
of
you.
trauma people and women who, you know, would so benefit from a group like this. If there were more groups like this, I'm always trying to find support outside of just therapy for women.
We're gonna get
So
there. And if you let me get to the end, I promise you, I got something for you.
no, no,
I
you
got something
go.
for
You
you.
go, girl. You go. Hey.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Is
Mm.
there anyone? And if not, we can move on. This work can never be forced, but it has to be trusted. Yes, Diana.
I grew up in Philadelphia, inner city, a very rough and tumble neighborhood. And I always wondered why I would incarnate there. But the things that I learned there, I'm seeing now are so beneficial in my grounded perspective, in knowing um, how you have to be sometimes, how you hold, how you are in the face of that kind of environment. And so I'm grateful for it, really, truly. I mean, even before right now, but I'm really have been grateful for it.
Mm, that's awesome. Again, this is being able to recognize that we can change our mindset and explore a new perspective. Diana have reached a point, and it did not necessarily in this moment, but this is where she recognized that exploring a new perspective is maybe where I felt bad about how I lived or where I grew up and didn't talk about it much, that now I realize it sets me apart in spaces and places and rooms and conversations where others will fold. I can show up.
Mm.
Thank you, Diana, for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Diane.
I'd like to make a proclamation. I've been bouncing around with different archetypes of the feminine based on the patriarchy. So I'd like to say the patriarchy and no male defines who I am. I define who I am.
Mm, mm.
Ah, I feel so good to say it.
Yes,
Thank
yes. And I second that for you. That is awesome and amazing. Because sometimes if we're not careful, the things that we continue to speak about and we talk about, it kind of can get stuck right on the inside of us. And we have to really be into, because I talk about trauma all the time. So I have to make sure that what I'm speaking about and when I'm talking about this, that I'm moving this forward and not just speaking from exactly where it hurt and where it hit, but moving it forward, being very fluid with it, like water. So thank you, Jan, for saying that, especially after such an amazing presentation that you had. That's important. For that may be something, if I can offer to you, that you actually say to yourself after you finish doing presentations like that, just to get yourself back center, right? Right? You got to deliver that information. That's important, to deliver the information in the manner that you did, but I never want to see you get stuck there, because you have moved through it like water. And it's important for us to move with you.
Yes, Sandra has her hand up.
Yes, Sandra. I just looked up to see it. Thank you,
Good to
Christy.
see you, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Oh, hi, y'all. I'm so happy to be here. I just had checked my emails and the big words grandmother stood out, and I was like, I got to get to this. So I was a little bit late and I apologize. But this has just been wonderful. I was born into a family that was crazy abusive in every kind of way. And I always thought, I don't belong here. Like, how could I have gotten to this kind of family? Because I just was like so the opposite. And now I know, through all the dichotomy and things I've learned, if I wouldn't have learned how bad it could be, I wouldn't know how good it could be either.
Mm,
And um and that's up to me to make sure I make that for me. And I love what Jan said. We do not have to be abused anymore, all of you. Like, we just don't. And uh, it does cringe me a little about Bob Marley, and I think of his wife as the one that was crying. And I just we don't have to cry anymore. I've been divorced since 1996. I'm like allergic to it. And I got to make sure I'm whole before I even think about being in a relationship. And I'm still working on me, and it is a work in progress. And I'm just so thankful. I have so much joy. I have so much love in spite of everything. And I don't dwell on that past anymore. And I don't surround myself in it. I remove myself from it. And it was up to me to do that when I got grown.
that's
And
awesome. I want to say this to you, Sandra, as we continue to move on, because I know I'm at a certain time as well. But thank you for
yeah.
sharing that. What you're speaking to right now, this is where I would tell any of my clients, you have to really, again, explore a new perspective. Make sure that
Yeah.
stays in front of you, exploring a new perspectives. And so what I say is that, which side of the quarter is more valuable, the head or the tails?
Yeah.
It's two sides.
Yeah.
And they and both sides equals one whole. So we have to take the good with the bad. That
That's
is the
right.
perspective that we need to understand, that the good and the bad of everything that we've experienced in life is what makes us whole of who we are
Yes.
today. And
Yeah.
that's why we can honor even the bad stuff.
No, isn't that wonderful?
Right? Where we've been taught, like, block that out, don't
I
even say
know.
it anymore. You don't even talk about it. Don't be, but I want you to learn how to honor it, because when you can honor it, you have power over it. You have power over it. I don't care what I've been through in life, the things that made me cry as a woman, that made me cry. I mean, to the point that I fell asleep with my pillow wet. Today I can honor those things. And that's how I created my one woman show, where I honor even my ancestors. I play my great grandmother, who was born in 1870. I play my great grandmother who was born in 1910. My grandmother in 1933, my mother 1951, my brother 1968, myself 1971, my daughter 1991, and I make mention of my grandson who was born in 2013. 7 generations I play on stage. And it's important because it's the honoring of what we've been through as a family. The good and the bad. Trauma's transferable, and so is healing. I can hold on to those things that I know about, some stuff that's happened in my family, and I can continue to hide that, sweep it under the rug, don't talk about it. Or I can go ahead and let it go. And when I let it go, it's simply because it can no longer live in me. There's no room for it there. So what I want you to do right now, this is where we're going to kind of ground a little bit. This is another part of what I do in Ungun in the Art of Healing. Stop, breathe, think. I want you to, for 30 seconds, go ahead, start wiggling it around real quick. Because when I say stop, I want you to freeze as if you are in a freeze frame in this Zoom. I don't want to see anything moving. Ready? 1, 2, 3, stop. Very good. You can start moving again. You just demonstrated that you have mind control over your body. And the fact that you have mind control over your body, that tells me that you can disarm trauma whenever you need to. Whenever you need to. The next part of that is breathing. I want you to just breathe. Naturally breathe. I don't have to tell you how to take in the breath. I want you to trust your body. I don't have to tell you how long to hold the breath. I want you to trust your body. I don't have to count to lead you. And I don't have to count to stop you. When you trust your body, it will breathe for you. Because the moment that your body stops breathing, you have the issue, not me. So I don't teach people how to breathe. I just pray that they always can. Practice stopping and then breathing. Now I want you to think. What are we going to think about, Dr. Marty? Again, what you think about has nothing to do with me. What you think about has everything to do with what you know about you. And what I want you to think about in this moment is, what is your superpower? What makes you special? What makes the room stop when you walk in? What makes people listen when you begin to speak? What makes people wonder what's wrong when you're silent? If you learn to practice to stop, to breathe, and think, you will never need to change the world, because you will always have the power to change the energy around you. And that's more powerful than changing the world, because it's what's happening around you is what's causing the world to show up in the manner that it is, and we don't know how to speak to it. We see things happening every single day, and we go the other way. These Epstein files are not new. Who knew about them and seen them prior to the world knowing? Who didn't use their superpower to speak to them? To demand safety and respect for every woman and child. So it's my goal to not change the world, but to go inside the world and teach everyone I know how to stop, breathe, and think. Stop is simply being in control of self, so that you don't choose to make a mistake that you can't reverse. The mind tells the body what to do. So when you can choose to stop, the good news is you can still make good choices. And every choice has a consequence. Then I want you to breathe and breathe naturally. The breath is the energy that you're taking in to be able to activate your superpower. Your breath is Superman's cape. Put it on. It's Wonder Woman's bracelets. Put it on. It's Spidey Man's senses. Put it on. Breathe. Then activate your superpower. For me, it's my voice. I use it on stage as an actress. I use it behind a mic to sing, to speak. And when I decide to speak, I know that people will listen because I practice, and I think this is some of the work that Jan does. I practice tone and energy and body language, projection. If someone says, "Oh, I can't hear you, you sound like you're whispering," that means your superpower is not turned up. So get it at a volume where they can hear you, and they begin to lean in and trust you more. I teach others how to use their body, their voice, and their belief system to speak power into places that's powerless. Now I want you to think about community and how you can now transfer. Trauma's transferable, and so is healing. So now I want to move this, like I was telling Jan before, we got to move whatever we come to speak about, whatever we come to do. I want to make sure this river is rolling. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, 'cause I was worried about the way that things might have been. Big wheels keep on turning, Oh, primary keeps on burning. So we're rolling, 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 rolling on the river. So we're going to roll this river right now. We're going to move into community. Because what's the point of having superpowers if you're not helping somebody else? The 4 points of Ungun Institute are so simple. It's give, forgive, heal, live. Give, give somebody grace. Give yourself grace. Forgive. Forgive yourself from those things that you can't change anyway. Forgive others for the things that they did that they didn't even know that they did when they offended you or what have you, because they was going through some things that somebody never forgave them from before. Heal. Heal is so powerful when you can let go of those things that don't even matter to you anymore. You now get to live your best life. I'm living my best life. You can't tell me that I'm not tall when I'm 5'1". You can't tell me that I'm not small when I'm 247 pounds. You cannot tell me that I'm not rich when I can look at that bank account and I don't see enough zeros, because I feel healed.
Mm.
And healing is bigger than a feeling. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Nobody can tell me I can't do something. Christy says, it just, when Marty just goes and does, because Marty said, I can do it.
Mm.
I've had too many people in life let me down to say they were going to do something and they didn't. So when Marty says she's going to do it, doggone it, it's getting done. That's the art of healing. I want you to think about your community right now. Your community may not look like mine. My community was hit by a tornado. And in that very moment, some of the most impoverished areas, even the area that I once grew up in, that my great grandmother owned a home in. She was one of the first Blacks to own a home in that community. Now it's an all Black community. And we are, we're facing, a whole situation where government wants to basically take it over for money. So they're allowing the Black community to have the backs of their homes that was hit by the tornado. You literally looks like a dollhouse. You can see the living room and the bed. I should pull up a picture and show it to you where the tornado hit. And they're still haven't been paid out anything to put bricks back on their homes. So I knew that it was important for me to show up for this community and do something. What could that something be? And when I think about it from the aspect of ungun, right? People say, well, why is it called ungun? It has something to do with guns. No, it has everything to do with violence. Because I recognize that people who are without will kill, steal, and destroy
Mm.
to survive. That scarcity mindset. They need to eat. They need to have a roof over their head. They need to have clean clothes. That's dignity, that's humanity, and that's love that we should have for every sister and brother that's on this earth. So when the tornado hit, I opened up a free store, free, Free. We don't see it often, so I thought I'd spell it. Free store. And in this free store, I called upon all my friends, the influence of that's probably where my daughter gets it from. I called up on all of my friends and I said, "Hey, look in your basement, your closet, your shed, wherever, your attic, and tell me what you have extra of things you haven't even touched, you don't even use anymore. I need you to bring it to me in this particular spot." It's been 9 months now since the store, maybe 10 now. We might be in 10th month, I'm not sure. But I've already have given out over $2 million worth of goods in the city for free. Clothing, shoes, essentials, food, every single week. People can come to the free store and get bags of groceries for free with no grant. No grant. This has strictly been on what I call a community share project. This community share project allows everybody to be a part of it, where you can give. Remember the 4 principles: give, forgive, heal, live. So I'm teaching people how to give, that it's not costing them anything. We're talking about stuff that you have. If y'all was to turn my camera around and you see this stuff that I'm surrounded in the room, and you'd be like, Marty, take it to the center. How many of us have things we're sitting on right now that we can give to somebody else, and it will help them to forgive, heal, and live? We are holding the medicine to someone else's condition. So, because of this act of kindness and humanity in action, I have partnered with Operation Food Search, who provides the food. I've partnered now with the state of Missouri, who is now giving me a grant so that I can help people with housing in their arrears so they don't get any evictions. And just yesterday, I was able to help 2 young women. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the video of 2 young women that I put in a hotel so that they can just take a shower. And I gave their families bags of food so they could eat. And I raised money through the community share project so that we could get them what they needed. One needed some pants and some non-skid shoes so she could start a job. She says, Dr. Marty, I had to quit my last job because I didn't have a place to shower. And I couldn't keep showing up at work like that. These are the things we don't think about. So what I want to ask you right now is, what is one issue in your community that you care about? I care about people being able to survive. And I know if I can help somebody survive, that I could help to not necessarily stop violence, but I can definitely disrupt it. I could lower it. I could disarm. What is one issue in your community you care about? I want you to write it down, because I'm going to come back to that in a second.
I know what it is.
Then number 3, what is one leadership action that you can take for the next 7 days? Now, this should match what I just asked you. So whatever your one issue in your community is that you care about, what is one leadership action that you can take? I'm going to go back and use myself as an example. I cared about people being able to eat, being able to have clean clothes. So I spent 7 days on the phone, emailing, calling, showing up and asking people for stuff. And once that got activated, I didn't have to make those calls anymore. Now they call me. It's more than just us being able to show up in these spaces and talk about what's wrong. I don't want to keep showing up talking about it. I don't want to Zoom about it. I don't want an email about it. I don't want a conference about it. I don't want to show a video about it. I want action happening now. We know what the problems are. This isn't new. We've been women since we've been here. And men have been very consistent. The one damn thing they've been consistent at is being men. What are we going to do about it now? So what is one issue in your community that you care about? And what is the leadership action you can take in the next 7 days? I'm challenging you to do so, because I showed up in this Zoom room today to ask you that. And I will not come back until I see action happening. So don't even invite me, Christy. And I love you with my whole heart. But I'm tired of showing up in rooms where we leave out talking about the same things we already knew. Number 4, this is important. Because when you are activating your action, you're changing your mindset and you're exploring new perspectives. The mind may not know what to do with that because it's telling the body to do something different it's never done before. This is where self-care is important. I need you to also put in place some type of self-care regiment or practice for yourself to make sure you can maintain this new rhythm over the next 7 days. So basically, what I'm asking you to do is to dance in the mirror so that you can see how you're moving and what it looks like before you get out on the dance floor doing things that just don't move like it should. I want you to dance in that rhythm. What does that look like? This new action that's happening, right? This is that practice. You got to practice at home moving before you take it to the streets or to the stage, I would say. That's why I love theater, because theater is one of those things where we're going to practice as much as we can, because when we get on stage and it's live, we can't take it back. Whatever I throw out there, it's in the audience, and I can't take it back. One may call it a mistake, but I'm going to call it a move that I caught in the groove of it. Because you didn't know what I was planning to do anyway. So if I've been practicing at home, my body's automatically going to move in the manner that I need it to, no matter what I do. And that's what's happening. You're not practicing. You're not dancing in the mirror, seeing your action happening. And that's the new mindset that I need you to get into that groove. And that's how you change the world. You don't, but the world will start evolving around you. Let me see you dance. Go on in your frame. Let me see you dance. Uh, Whatever that rhythm is in your head, in your frame, move to it. Groove to it. Just do it. Come on. Dance. Dance. Feel it. Because if you can't change your mindset to get on here and dance in front of people you don't know and move in front of people you don't know, I'm sorry, I can't trust you outside to move the world. Because I got to see you moving and grooving here first. Yeah. Yeah. Trust the process. I love that. Yes, and what I love about it is it's your own beat, because it's the music that's inside of you. You don't have to do the same moves that somebody else is doing, because that's not what you've been called to do. So you got to feel the rhythm that's inside of you. Okay? This is where I say to you, it's time for you to find the deeper meaning of your story, your personal story, and go tell it to the world. Women, we are powerful. We are enough. We are ready. And we already have the baton in our hand. Use it to run, throw it, do what, pass it to somebody else, but just do something with it. Don't get caught not breathing for the last time, and the baton is still in your hand. We got to run this race together. Don't forget to stop, breathe, and think. These are the things that I have taught my grandchildren. And I pray one day my grandchildren will teach their grandchildren, and their grandchildren will teach their grandchildren. And then I know I've done my part because that's legacy. And that is the reason that I do this work. So I can help somebody that I'll never, ever get a chance to meet. But I will help them to give, forgive, heal, and live their best life. I'm Dr. Marty Casey, and I thank you for this time.
Marty, you're such a mama bear. Seriously, you emanate such a deeper truth about who and what we are and what we need to be as community. And, I just celebrate you. And I was trying to think of what do I honor about the things I don't like that happened in my life. And suddenly I remembered every year I do the Magdalene Moonrise service, and people come and they celebrate, and it's such a loving, heart-centered, collaborative joining together that people just feel so uplifted and inspired. And a friend of mine came over and she said, Christy, I have to thank your brothers for this because she loves the event. And I said, what do you mean thank my brothers? My brothers, my bully brothers, were so mean and so disconnected with me. And they didn't understand. They had a little sister who said, no, life is about singing and dancing for joy. And they were like, pop her bubble, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, because what they did to you drives you to bring joy to others.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you create joy for others, because you. So anyway, thank you so much, and I honor your work. Please go check out her website, theunguninstitute.com, and go to her YouTube video channel too, because she needs some more subscribers on her channel. You got
I don't even put anything out there. I said this year, Christy, thank you for saying that though. But I said this year I'm going to definitely start promoting that. But that that's one of the things that I won't say that I struggle with, but I recognize right on that two sides of the coin. One side of the coin, I'm like, oh, Marty, you're not doing the things that you need to do to get you more, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like the other side of the coin is you can't do that because you are actually busy doing the work.
Right.
So if I had time to sit on YouTube and upload stuff and make videos and do all of this kind of things, then you may want to question me on some of the things that I've said here tonight. Because I really
No,
say
we are the ones that subscribe.
yeah.
You
So
don't have
but
to do anything. You just keep doing what you're doing, and we are
well,
the ones that will subscribe
yeah,
because
but I need to upload some things so you have something to see, is what I'm saying. So thank
yeah,
you for that. But I do want to just come back around just for 2 seconds to just ask, are there any questions? Because again, when I come into these spaces, you all, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Let me just say, I unapologetically show up to challenge us and to make sure that there's a call to action in place. And sometimes it's hard to hear.
we've
We
got
are
about
the
5 more minutes left, so let's open it up. Anyone, please share and put your thoughts forward. I know some of the women on this call have been struggling with this question and have been deep in conversation with me about what it is that we can do and have shown up to do things.
Mhm.
Um, this is a good group. So
Yeah, you are all already leaders, right?
yeah,
But what I need you to do is now get a little uncomfortable leading outside of those comfort zones.
right.
Go to other spaces and places that really need to hear you. If we keep showing up in the same spaces, that's when we are running that risk of preaching to the choir. I need you now to go outside and preach on the corner. I need you now to go and preach on the parking lot and preach in the on the in the at the school board. Do take your leadership and your superpower in other places. It's time. And that's how we again begin to kind of shift the narrative of what's happening in our world. When that unexpected voice shows up in a space that they don't know the face and they don't know the voice, and so they don't know what you about to say, and you're that person that showed up in that right time to say something and move and change the energy. That's how we start to shift everything around us. So that's why I am in spaces like here and other places. It's because it's not a lot of people there that look like me. And not that I represent every Black woman when I begin to speak. I really don't. But at least, hopefully, I will remind you of other Black women. And it will cause you to say, wow, well, if Marty feels like that, I'm wondering if my neighbor feels like that. I'm gonna check in with my neighbor and see what I can do and how can I support. So
Well, I'd like Diana, you want to chime in here? You've been really beating this drum about this whole issue of getting out there and speaking truth to power.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is really, really invigorating. And I am in the process of doing that in a big way. I mean, one of my passions is really empowering older women, elders, the grandmothers. And I began the Women's Circle about 18 months ago now, but now we was as a Wise Women's Elder Circle. And now we've moved into a Grandmother Council. But really helping women that many of them are older than me that have kind of lost their sense of their power. So that's one thing. The other thing is this issue, right, with the women and men, and we actually have a local issue that just came out that is kind of a mini Epstein situation, and we are forming groups of men and women to come together and have these conversations. And I'm really passionate about that, and bringing the partnership, and whether it's private partnership or romantic partnership, or just men and women together being equal.
I
So
love that. I love that, Diana. And what I failed to mention, I just want to say real quick, where my center is inside of a senior building. So I love that so much because what happens is that community also comes and shops there, and the seniors that live in the building automatically get to shop there. And what we're seeing now is the elders and the youth coming together week after week, getting to know each other. So if there's anything that I can add, is that it's important for us to build spaces and places where everyone is invited to come.
okay.
Galia, you want to put in your 2 cents?
Yes, I'd love to.
I
Thanks,
know you got
Christy.
it.
I didn't really want to be here today. I had other things on my mind, and I'm really glad I came. Yeah, it's been wonderful. Jan, I would love to see your video again. There was so much there that I just have to see it again in order to take it all in. Thank you. And Dr. Marty, your question, what is one thing in my community that I care about? Well, something big has just come up for me, and that was on my mind today. In a community, in a group I'm part of, where 3 women were banned from coming to any more meetings, not by the men in the organization, but by other women on the board. And it's actually the men, along with some of us women, who are standing up now for these 3 and speaking up. So it's very interesting when men are evolved and really good men. They're wonderful. And I have so much admiration for these half a dozen men who've come forward. One is in his 90s, 2 are in their 80s, 2 more in their 70s, and I think one in his 60s. These are all older men. Makes me very proud to be part of that generation. And you're never too late to learn. It's never too late to learn. Um, I've had trouble speaking up all my life. For that reason, I coached speaking classes back in the 1970s.
Ah, love
I coached what I wanted to learn, right? And
it.
it did help. It helped a very great deal. But, the years have gone by and I'm struggling with that again now. As Diana mentioned, as we get older, sometimes we lose our voice.
Mm.
And I don't want to lose my voice. And I'm proud of myself in that I did arrange a meeting with the head authority of this particular group, yet, and we met yesterday. And I was able to, I disagreed with this person, even though he is the authority figure. And yet it took a lot of courage to do it. And then after it was all over, I thought, oh, I should have said more. I should have been stronger. But I did the best I could. And I'm finding my voice again now. And as a result, I feel better about myself.
What's your superpower?
Yeah, exactly.
Say that again.
What is your superpower?
What is my superpower? What is my superpower?
Maybe it's your voice.
I
I think you just
Maybe it's that you have a heart of gold.
It's magic.
Let-
It's my fairy
let's
godmother,
let her
Matt.
let's let her sit with that for a second, you guys, if you don't mind, and let
No, no.
her
Well,
find
well,
it.
I'm a fairy godmother. And so when I come across in my fairy godmother persona, which is the true me, that's who I am, that's my superpower.
So when you say fairy godmother, can you help me to understand what you mean by that?
Uh, oh boy. Well, someone who brings magic, but also her deep truth. Like, for example, there was a part of me that really did not want to confront this authority figure, but the stronger part of me had to. It's like if I don't do this, I can't live with myself.
So
So
what was
maybe
magical
it's my
about it?
maybe it's my speaking my truth that's my superpower
Yeah.
rather than, the fairy godmother persona.
No, I love the fairy godmother persona, but what I was gonna say is that it sounds like when you make the decision to speak up, people know that's not something you would do often, so it becomes magical. It becomes that moment where it makes people stop to listen, like, oh, because
Hmm.
Amelia is actually saying something today. So
Well,
this must mean something.
I think I've surprised them all because I also sent an email this morning, a rather strong email to, I believe it was 57 people, the whole group, and stated my views. And other people were too afraid to do that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
I absolutely love that. Well, I just wanted to just say to you that I think what may help you in the future is when you write the vision down and make it plain. Like if you pre-think about what the points are of what you want to say, and you give yourself permission to say it. And then I think you will fly high.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marty, because actually, after the meeting yesterday, I thought, why didn't I write things down and then make it very clear in my own head before we met? Because, I think it could have come out more clearly and more strongly had I done that. So you're absolutely right on about that.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
sounds like you spoke through your heart. Look who's here, Michelle Newman. And her hand is up. I think she wants to share.
Hey, Michelle,
Michelle.
go ahead, dear, because we're about to wrap it up.
There she is.
Michelle.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay. Something's wrong with the camera. I can't get it to sync with, I don't know what's going on with, I can't get it to sync with this version of Zoom, so I haven't been able to be seen. But y'all know I'm here and y'all know I'm a strong woman. So I just wanted to bring up, thank you, Marty, Dr. Marty. I appreciate everything you said. And I love what you said about action. I heard recently of an indigenous gathering that happened, and there was this elder, the oldest man, some old Mayan somebody or other, some wisdom guy, and all these different indigenous people on the council were talking, and the guy, the oldest one, said nothing. And then after they talked for 3 or 4 hours, he finally said, yeah, all your talk is okay, but what are we going to do? He said, it's all about action. And I'm feeling that this is the year of the fire horse. And I'm just saying, action. Don't talk, do. Just do it. Just do it, do it, do it. So I love the way you have reiterated that, Dr. Marty. Thank you so much, because for me, my attitude is just like, let's just take action, whatever it is, take the action.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. I think that is my call to action right now, is that anywhere I go, I need to know what's my why of coming in. As I tried to write it down and make it plain. I the whole time that we were here talking, I just want to show it to you, because I go off of what's in the room. Everything that was said today was not anything that I had made a decision to come in here and talk about. But I move off of energy of what's in the room and what I feel like needs to be talked about. And these were my notes as I'm sitting here jotting down. And so it's my blueprint to help me to be able to make sure that I hit these points 1, 2, 3, 4, or what have you. And I've learned to be able to show up in spaces like this by trusting, my process of how I can deliver, and that is the action. So thank you, Michelle, for saying that. And I hope everybody learns what works for them as well. And that's why it goes with, what's your superpower? What, and when you allow that superpower to enter into the room and you trust that process, you can't miss. You will always win. You're going to always win, and win big.
That's right. Thank you so much. Um, I totally relate to everything you're saying, because I also have been an actress for much of my life. At this time, I'm not, but I'm actually. It's so amazing, because I decided my superpower has become, as a more of a woman in my wisdom years. My superpower has become helping other people um, to express their soul self, and to truly know who they are and what is their sole purpose for being on this planet. And I just decided, in fact, I took action yesterday. I decided I need to make a play out of this. I need to make a performance out of people who are on their process of seeing who they are in their soul. And I just totally relate to what you do, because I was a music and theater teacher for many years, and I put on so many children's productions in my town. And for me, it was all about the environment. We did all these things to speak about the environment and make it a bit healthier planet and all that. But I just love, when you were talking, I was thinking, wow, I haven't done kids productions in so long. I don't know that I want to get it going in my town right now, but maybe I should fly and hang out with you, fly to you and just hang out with you for 6 months and do my children's production stuff with you.
Listen, I would love it. I love that more than anything. That is my first love. What city are you in, Michelle?
I live in Santa Cruz, California, Central Coast, California.
Okay, well, I am flying to LA. I'll be there in the morning.
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah, my flight is at 10:45. I'll be in LA. I'm shooting a series actually talking about your stories and the power of your stories. It's a new series that's coming out and
What are you shooting? What is it?
I'll send it to Christy so she can send it out to everyone because I don't even have all of I don't it's not in my head right now because I have so many other things going on, but I just know my time to shoot on Tuesday is at 2 o'clock.
Well,
But I'll send it over to Christy.
one thing I know for me, everybody in this group pretty much knows me, and one thing I know for me is that this year is my time to totally reach out to completely new people and do completely new projects. And when I was listening to you talk, Marty, I just went, I want to work with that woman. I want to work with her. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but I want to work with you.
As long as you bring in the action, Michelle, it's all good.
Oh, baby, I'm a woman of action.
I know you are. If you hanging out with Christy, I know you are. Christy doesn't have it any other way.
I'm giving you my current website in the chat.
Okay.
But I mean, this is what I do right now. But I can tell you, I've had 5 different careers in my life, so I've done a heck of a lot. And this is what it looks like at the moment.
This is awesome. Well, thank you. It's such an honor and a pleasure.
And I've got your website up. I've got the Ungun Institute up. I was looking at it.
Thank you.
Well, I highly recommend following Marty around. Just
I know you're amazing, Marty. I just love you. I love you.
Yeah, you keep coming up with these great ideas. So, and I'm excited to hear about your theater show, Michelle, and what you're going to create.
Oh,
So.
it's called Call Me by My True Name, and I'm going to bring women or men and women through it's going to be a process creation performance where they literally work together or individually if they want to collaborate or do it by themselves on what is, in other words, they're going through a soul path process and creating a performance out of it.
All right.
That's awesome.
So I want to take this time and thank Jan for joining me and delivering her knockout speech, which was so rich and so vast and so deep. We all have to watch it again. But Jan, I'm excited about your journey and the new things that are coming out and your new helping women with bullying, because I dealt with that my whole life, and I think a lot of women have. And it's funny, I just had a plumber come and help my house and do some plumbing, and within a nanosecond it was like he was bullying me, and I was like, wait a minute, how does this happen so fast? And my boundaries were down, and I was just it was shocking because I'm more protected now in my elder years and not confronting the public as much. So, and much love, Dr. Marty. I just love you so much. I support who you are, and I appreciate your willingness to come and talk to my community and inspire everybody to take action, because I'm beside myself and I'm thinking of all the ways that I can take action and what I can do and how I can move the river forward, because I have grandbabies and I want my grandbabies to grow up in a sovereign state of mind, knowing that
this is action. When you put these platforms together and you bring in people to get to know each other, like Michelle and I would not probably have ever crossed paths. This is the action. You're already doing it. But I just want to make sure that as we gather the information of what Jan shared today, that we don't just see it, hear it, and sit on it.
right.
Let's move it. Let's do those things that she shared today. Let's remember those things, and let's take that into the communities that need it the most, because they're not here on Zoom right now. And
Right.
we can't keep coming to the Zoom and sending out the emails and calling each other and leaving it amongst ourselves. This is where we gather almost I want to almost create something called the invisible bag, and it's like, okay, tell me what's in your bag from today. Tell me what you put in that bag of what Jan said that you're going to carry and now take it into the community, into your families, and even inside yourself. And how will you implement that? Like, that's the piece that I want people to take away moving forward, learning how to hear it, right, receive it, and then do it.
Right.
Yeah, live it through your passions. Your gift is like the fractal, the lens, and that's where to show up, because that's where you'll shine and have the most effect.
I agree.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Much love. Blessings to everyone.
Thank
Talk
you.
Keep up the good
Thanks.
work, everyone.
Thanks for bringing Marty to our group, Christy.
Oh, you're
Appreciate it.
welcome. Let me know how it goes. What's in your bag? Email me. Let me know.
That's a good one, Christy. Tell everybody to
Yeah.
email you what's in their bag.
Yeah.
I want to sing with you, Marty.
Anytime,
Oh
Jan.
man, yeah. Oh yeah, rolling, rolling.
Yes,
Rolling
rolling
down
down
the
the river.
river.
Fabulous.
All righty. Good to
Thank
see you,
you.
Sandra, too.
Bye,
And
everybody.
Thank you, Christy. I love you. I miss
Thank
you.
you. Rolling down the river.
See?
Cheers, y'all.
That's in their bag, Christy. The song is in their bag.
well, I think
Aloha, y'all.
the best
You
way
know,
is doing it through music. So, blessings. Take care.